Big weekend for Duke Mafia, certainly. I mean, going through Antrell Taylor, the reigning 157 champ, Ridge Lovett, the 149 champ, reigning, and then Bryce Andonian. It's up there. It's for a high schooler as impressive a run as we've seen. You know, Jax Forrest did what he did, but I think this is right up there. Now the question is, you know, can this guy go with Yanni?
Yeah, I think he can go. You come through this bracket, yes. You can go with Yanni. He's not my pick, but I don't think you are a stupid individual if you are picking him to be Yanni Diakomahalis. You come through this bracket, you're that good.
Yeah, and what's also wild, it's like we all knew Duke winning was
on
like,
the table.
Yeah, there's a really good possibility to where, because of what he's already done on the senior level, already beating Will Lewan, Bryce Andonian, JQs. And so, like, that's crazy. But I also think of the guys he faced this weekend and then compare them to Yanni. It's, like, different. Yanni's a way different matchup to where I don't know how that stylistic matchup looks. Like,
he's also a different competitor.
Yeah. The most experienced, most credentialed guy he's faced. So, yeah, I don't know. Like, I haven't spent a ton of time thinking about that matchup, but it's really a clash of styles.
Going into the tournament, you know, like what you think about PJ Duke is like ultra physical, super tough, like beyond his years strong. And what I saw differently this weekend is like, no, this guy is extremely heady. He's very tactical. He understands where he's at on the mat. He makes all the right moves at the right time. Just a really good feel for the sport, and also just like tactically, he's beyond where I thought he was, right? And it's not that I didn't think he was good there. It's like, well, you just don't know. You haven't seen him in the fire enough times in enough tight matches to know that he was this close to losing to Antrell Taylor, right?
And Ridge Lovett.
Oh yeah, Ridge Lovett. I mean, it's like, you know, that will be debated for sure.
Yeah, and Andonian, like, there is a case for Andonian to get some more points on the edge of the mat there when he does inside trip. I don't know a ton that was made out of that, and he almost gets a takedown. The defense by PJ Duke was nuts. Also,
yeah.
See if you can. I think it's right here.
This is a crazy exchange. Yes, it is.
Right there.
Oh, man,
it is close.
It happened right in front of us. I don't think PJ landed on his back.
Should it be 2
for Bryce?
Yeah.
I mean, is that a takedown?
It's interesting.
To what?
2 points.
I know, but for what?
I guess it should be 4.
Give us like a frame by frame, Tyler.
He changes. I mean, Bryce lands on his back.
It's Bryce's move, though.
I know.
Does PJ expose like that? It is very close.
It is right at like a 90 almost. But I don't think he did.
He did not. I mean, this is the one thing I feel certain of. PJ did not expose in that.
All right, see if you can stop it at the right time.
That's the one thing you feel certain of?
I feel certain about a lot more things than that.
Well, like
right there. Look at that. I don't know. That right shoulder.
Yeah, it's already coming
really
through.
Close. Yeah, it's coming through.
I don't find it to be close.
Even there, look at how close it is there. As he's already coming through, that means he was closer to breaking 90 than there. And right there, it looks like 90 degrees.
I hear your passion, and I respect it. And yet, you're just wrong.
I don't think so. Like, you cannot say you're that sure.
Is that the face of a man that thinks he exposed?
Yeah. Look at him. He's like, what's the call there? Yeah. He's like, oh, boy. Did I just give up 4 points?
No. I see calm.
Nah, I don't know.
No, I think they got this right.
I would love to see a different angle.
He's uncanny at how, because he did a similar thing to Melvin in that kind of.
He can just, the way he can flip his hips so quick with so much power.
He has got
one where he stepped out of bounds
Yes,
against Melvin.
It's really similar to this one. Yeah.
Yeah. I think they got it right.
But the Ridge Lovett call too on the edge, like he was very close to dropping matches, but that speaks to the type of competitor that he is.
Right.
Man. It's like he's just a winner.
Yeah, I guess he could have lost all 3 matches very reasonably.
Mm-hmm.
right? Even the Antrell one, it kind of got away from him, Antrell at the end, but it was really that 4-point exchange that was the difference. Where Antrell, I don't know what Antrell was actually doing. I've watched it a bunch of times. I cannot make sense of what he thought was going to happen. But PJ just puts him flat on his back, and that put it kind of out of reach for Antrell. But Antrell was winning at the time.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, and I mean, Yanni wrestled Andonian at the Open and
Pieced him up.
him up. So, but I don't think that means much in this matchup. Andonian's a different guy.
Bryce is a guy you kind of throw all his. Now, you don't throw them out the window. You throw them out the window by basis of comparison.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
You know, even comparing a previous matchup, Bryce got destroyed. Oh, here we go. Yeah, that's.
You can't see his
Oh, yeah.
shoulders.
Oh, I see it.
Ready?
I had a great vantage point.
No. I don't know.
Yeah, I
See if you can zoom. Can you zoom in?
I can zoom in.
Does your camera have a zoom?
Zoom
I
lens.
have to rewind.
Look at the Duke hater Kozak just sitting there, just ready to hate on it.
Hold on. There we go.
I wrote an article saying why
hate-
PJ Duke can win the US Open.
I
or why
know. It was just you're just trying to set him up so you can knock him down. Classic
Let's
media.
see.
it's stuff that it is.
I mean,
That's
look,
probably the closest.
and it's not.
That might be.
He has to
past 90.
land. He has to land also.
He is land. He's on the
He's
mat.
levitating.
No, he's on
He's
on Bryce's
levitating.
arm. He's not Dua Lipa.
I'm
don't
not.
know.
I'm
I
not
mean-
mad at it not being called.
Thank you.
It's
But it could very reasonably have been called.
yeah.
And
Look
you're
at how on
saying-
top of it I am.
It could have been called.
You
It
probably
could
can't
not
even
have
see
been
because it's
called.
underneath the table.
I'm all over this. No.
Looks like you're looking up too.
I'm looking to see what they're about to call.
Yeah. What are you guys looking at?
I'm trying to see. I think the ref's over to the left of us.
Okay. Okay.
Be a real shame if somebody photoshopped a hot dog going into Kozak's mouth. That's still.
Glizzy. Oh,
Yeah.
Christian's standing up.
Yeah, I'm giving him a standing ovation for that call. Yeah. So we'll see. Anyway, fun exchange.
Andonian's match with Willouan, he did two of the craziest things I've ever seen.
That was AI.
He's
That didn't
crazy.
happen.
What'd you say?
I said that was AI.
Oh yeah, that was it. That was they were USA Wrestling was messing around with AI simulation matches.
Well, they should continue because it was cool.
Yeah.
Oh man, but yeah, PJ, I think maybe he can do it. I think the path for him, he's like, I mean, is he gonna go in and beat up Yanni? Is he gonna be out physical Yanni Diakomahalis? I'm just not. I'm
Yeah.
just not there.
To me, it feels like 2 scores to 0 or 1.
Yeah.
Yanni over Duke. That's just what I'm feeling.
And
Yanni's transition offense to parterre has gotten a lot better too over the last few years. So I could see him opening up a match that way.
I can see the cat factor for Yanni playing a role here. Like
yeah.
PJ picks him up, like body lock, and somehow he lands
On his-
square and like is able to recover. Like that's a different. None of these guys have that kind of. Feel
I could
that
see
Yanni-
like the Bo Bassett, Bo Bartlett position where Bo Bassett gets a point on a step out while he's in quad pod. I could see Yanni like doing that to PJ. You know what
That
I
was
mean?
goofy.
Like stuff like that where Yanni's just like crafty.
Yeah.
Is PJ Duke the number 1 pound for pound high schooler in the country?
This is such a good question. It's the classic, in my opinion, pound for pound debate. And really at this point, I think it can only be PJ Duke or Jax Forrest. Just because as great as Marcus is,
All right, who's going to make the world team? Senior world team to also decide the number
Yeah.
1 pound for pound
Yeah.
spot in high school.
I mean, kind of. But I think this has happened some in high school wrestling where you've got one guy who's is in the streets so consistently, so constantly, and that person, Jax Forrest in this instance, has more losses by nature. Whereas PJ Duke has an exemplary resume in terms of the win-loss record. But not, he's not the guy at the Super 32 and the Ironman and all these different tournaments. He doesn't wrestle that kind of a schedule. But he hasn't lost since 2022. Okay, so you have the unblemished versus a guy with losses but more elite wins, and you're left to kind of, what do you value more? a volume of elite wins. Not that PJ Duke doesn't have a lot of good ones, but he does not have as many as Jax Forrest, and he does not wrestle in a weight class as competitive as Jax Forrest, where he's been going up against Luke Lillidahl and Anthony Knox and Seth Mendoza and Seidel, all these guys, right? That's just not the weight class that PJ Duke has been in, and he's not been at these tournaments. Like, he doesn't wrestle who's number one, never did. Super 32, et cetera, et cetera. So it's a really interesting debate. I feel like after this weekend, I was kind of leaning towards PJ Duke, and this may sound like a stupid reason. It may sound dumb, but the Vargo loss for Jax, you know, because losing, you lose to Luke Lillidahl. Am I really gonna say, wow, that really changes the perception? Not for me. You lose to Seth Mendoza. Okay, well, you've also massacred Seth Mendoza multiple times, but you lose to a guy that's kind of like fringe ranked, unranked. It's like, all right, just PJ Duke is never gonna lose to a guy like that, in my opinion, or he certainly hasn't. So I don't know. You could go either way with it. That was like the data point in my mind that made me think, and maybe that's like the least relevant one, but it's just what stood out to me.
To me, this might be controversial, but
Wow.
like a pound for pound argument internet senior level, like I'm okay with taking in like years of data because
Absolutely.
it makes sense. For high schoolers, I feel like you have to go year by year because the kids get better at such a rapid rate.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's clear to me that this year's Jax is completely different than last year's Jax. And that's why I think that right now you have to say Jax because of who he has wins over and what his most recent year has looked like.
Because you would say PJ Duke would never lose to a guy on
Vargo.
Vargo's level. You would say the same thing about Forrest now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, for those of you who don't follow high school wrestling as closely,
Yeah, sorry.
Jax Forrest lost in the regional finals a year and a couple months ago.
2024.
Yes.
Yeah, so what is that, 15 months ago that he took a loss to a guy who's fringe ranked. But
1 week
And
later,
then-
you attack that
yes.
guy.
yeah,
True.
At the state tournament.
Yeah, absolutely. So, and I think that is a good point, looking at 2022 stuff. How relevant is that while you're comparing Jackson and PJ? And like, so over the last year, Jackson won it. Who's number one? Did he win Super 32? Did he wrestle at Super 32? I guess is the better question. I know he didn't lose. He won.
Yes, I do believe he did.
He won.
He's won it before.
PIAAs, which had Aaron Seidel in it. And
Like the most famous match in PIAA history.
Yeah, very possible. I'm trying to think. I'm sure he won Ironman and Powerade as well. I think.
He really cares about that when you won the U.S. Open.
But it's just kind of painting the picture. You bring that up because PJ was not at those tournaments.
Sure.
PJ did not step into. It's easy to not lose at a tournament you're not at, right? This happened with like Dayton and I think Alex Marinelli, where Dayton lost to Vito and Luke Karam at Super 32, but he had also beaten like Stevan. He had beaten, I think this was before or after he had beaten Spencer Lee. He had beaten Darian Cruz, who was an All-American NCAA. He had beaten Ronnie Bresser, but a lot of good guys. And Alex Marinelli was like higher than him in the pound for pound because he hadn't lost, but he also did not go to any of these tournaments. So I was like kind of team. I kind of thought Dayton should have been ranked higher than he was in that instance. And now maybe I'm taking the opposite perspective of PJ. I don't know.
You think it should be PJ?
I don't know. Kind of, but I value, because I do think pound for pound, while I agree with your point that it should, these guys are so different year over year. I also think pound for pound should take in more time than like national high school rankings by weight class. So I don't know.
so I believe Jax's last loss was at U20 trials to Luke Lillidahl. Twice he lost to him.
Yes.
And since then, he's won Fargo, Super 32, who's number one,
He beat Seth Mendoza at Fargo.
Ironman,
Right.
Powerade, Pennsylvania States,
All right, I'm back in.
the Senior U.S. Open. Yeah,
Well, he did not win World Team Trials.
he didn't even compete.
Didn't even compete.
Wow.
Didn't even make the walk.
Yeah,
No, just kidding.
Like a year ago, he was losing to DeSanto, and this year he messed him up.
That's true.
Like, that's like such a good like bar for how much better he's gotten, in my opinion.
Great example. I'm back
He
in.
lost to Marcus Blaze at Olympic trials and then won that bracket
I don't think he lost to Marcus. I think he lost to Luke, right? And Luke lost to Marcus.
at the Olympic
Yes.
trials
Yeah, let's see.
I don't think they wrestled.
for third place.
I
No,
thought Jax lost.
for third place.
Oh yeah,
Mark-
no, you're right.
Marcus beat Luke,
Oh,
I think, and
Please
then
apologize.
I think Marcus beat Luke.
Newt.
He beat Newt Gingrich and Luke Lillidahl, and then I think he beat Jax for third.
You got it, Kozak, or
No, I was looking at the high school ranking spreadsheet.
Okay.
I don't think David has the Olympic trials in the results in the spreadsheet.
that was the craziest.
I'm
thing
almost
is-
positive that
Yeah, I'm back in. It's Jax. I value the streets. Be in there, and I'm not saying there's nothing wrong. PJ's process is working. He's in Final X. He is going to be a next level kind of talent who's arrived right now.
Well, and if you consider Luke Lillidahl is ranked number 5 in the world right now at 57 kilograms, and that's Jax's last freestyle loss.
Right.
It's not a bad loss. He won U20s this year, and PJ lost to the guy who took silver at U20s. So.
Yeah.
and Jax is the number 1 pound for pound right now, ranked by David Bray. Clearly, this could change theoretically after the World Team Trials haven't been updated since. But I think part of the process was Marcus Blaze was ahead of PJ Duke. And then Forrest wins that bracket instead of dropping below PJ, who didn't enter the Senior U.S. Open. Jax jumps ahead.
Yeah.
Kind of, that's how rankings kind of go, not just snap, okay, now we completely readjust.
Yeah, okay, I'm now certain. So what you're telling me, since the U20 trials, he won Fargo, who's number 1, Super 32, Ironman, Powerade, PIAAs, and the Senior U.S. Open. And like of those tournaments,
Yeah.
So
Yeah, let's see what PJ has done in that.
he got U20 silver. So he was on a world team that Jax wasn't on. So that's a little tick in the PJ Duke column. But then after that, so like you don't punish him for not wrestling in Fargo when he's on a dang U20 world team. I think they weren't even allowed letting the guys wrestle
Yeah.
Fargo, which is smart. They should do the same for U17s, honestly.
Yeah, David doesn't have anything in the spreadsheet from U20s until until the state tournament.
Yeah.
So that's from May or June until March of the next year.
No national competitions for PJ.
9 or 10 months.
And during that time, Jax hit Super 32, who's number 1, Powerade, and Ironman. So he hit 4. So
And PA states.
in
Yeah.
Pennsylvania, not even counting Pennsylvania states, because even though that is a national level talent tournament.
And I don't know the rules in New York, what they're allowed
Yeah.
to do and travel to. Like that could just PJ being also a victim of his high school.
Like Yanni did everything though.
Yanni was Super 32.
Yeah. Obviously, he could have done Super 32,
But Ironman.
but
maybe.
Ironman,
Right.
yeah. And obviously, the Pennsylvania State Tournament
He
is.
could have entered that.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding. But yeah, it's a fun debate. And, if one of them makes the world team, then maybe we'll know for
Then
sure.
it's settled. What if they both make the world team?
Only a 23 votes in as of right now, but the chat thinks PJ Duke should be above Jax Forrest.
That's because he's front of mind, Like if you ask,
Yeah,
question-
recency bias.
If you ask this after the U.S. Open, and it's like, well, yeah, it's Jax Forrest.
What if he beats Vito in a match, but loses the 2 out of 3, and PJ gets swept by Yanni? Then it's like, oh wow, he beat a world champ.
Yeah.
Or vice versa. If
Yeah.
Jax gets swept, but PJ takes a match or wins.
Yeah.
These are the things. This is a different era of high school ranking.